Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started because I do like to be very cognizant of everybody's time. And I'm grateful that you've joined me. So, welcome to another Wisdom Wednesday with Coach Wendy. Today, my subject is going to be around confidence, and I'm still going to talk on that, but I'm also going to tie in some things that I believe could be relevant to what we're dealing with today. As most people know, we've had another death at the hand of a police officer, and his name is George Floyd, and he's from Minneapolis. And my heart is heavy. I read something this morning online where someone was saying that people are always talking about, well, what about black on black crime? And yes, that is an issue. And I'm not saying we should just push that under the rug. But also, when death is at the hands of police officers who we trust to serve and to protect, and the lives of black people and especially black men are not even honored or considered even valuable or sacred, it hurts my heart. And I'm really heavy on that because I'm a mom and I have a beautiful African American son, and I have a beautiful African American grandson, and I also have cousins and nephews and friends and just people, humanity, human beings. Hi, Marquetta. Good to see you. Hi, Margarita. Good to see you as well. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, Melinda. Good to see you. And so today, I have to let my voice be heard as it relates to what's going on today. And so I encourage everyone to figure out, and I'm going to do some research and put it on my page so that people will know how they can contact district attorneys or different legislative officials in the Minneapolis area to just let your voice be heard. If nothing else, just to hold the police officers that did this crime accountable. And I do know that I've heard that they've been fired, but that's not enough. That's not enough. Because if we are putting our lives in their hands to protect us, it's not correct. I see someone just said, and also, what about white on white crime? And the other is not a relative question. Correct. It's about just humanity in itself. It's about honoring life. And so today we're going to pour into talking about what is confidence all about. Hey, Malcolm, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And I know that all of us have been dealing with something during this period of time of what is known as COVID-19, whether you've lost a job, lost a loved one, or just lost humanity, or if you're just uncertain what does the future hold. Well, we're going to deal a little bit around confidence. If you have a pad and pen, I would encourage you to please get it out, because I hope to give you some nuggets that you can use in your day-to-day life as you're navigating through this period. Hi, David. Good to see you. I feel you too. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. So let's start with the first letter, C. And I see C as for courage. And I'm going to read this to you because I want to make sure that I get all of the nuggets and all of the pearls for you as it relates to what you can take away with you. So for C, I'm doing an acronym for the word confidence. Starting with C, I see that as for courage. Like the cowardly lion in The Wizard of Oz, who really wanted courage, but actually had it all the time deep down inside of him. But he needed some help on how to bring that out, how to find it. So I encourage each and every one of us to please find the people in your life that give you the courage to do the things that need to be done. And I also want to think about that again, tying it back to what's happening and what happened recently with the gentleman who was killed. We need to have the courage to reach out to those that we need to hold responsible for what is happening. I also want to say that I believe that courage is contagious, and also courage can lead to change, because when we have the courage to speak out, do the things that we know are necessary, it also begins to make other people have the courage to do it as well. So don't be afraid. Don't let fear hold you back. Our next letter is O. I see O as being optimistic. I was talking to someone right before the show today, and I was telling them how my heart was really heavy. And actually, I was in kind of tears. My daughter had shared with me this video that Kirk Franklin did where he was talking about how he couldn't sleep and he couldn't breathe. And I listened to the whole thing. He didn't say one word, but the spirit was there. And it's like, how do you push through that? How do you push when your spirit is heavy to be optimistic? And so I have to say that we can't give up. We have to believe that there's a better day coming. We have to believe that this is not going to be a negative cycle forever, because otherwise, what gives us the courage to keep going? How do we encourage our children? How do we even want to have children and even have our children have children so that we have grandchildren? We have to be optimistic for our future. I believe it's important for us to always look at a glass as half full and not half empty. This is what's going to be important. And if we don't do this now, when will we be able to do it? Which takes me to the next letter, N. N is for now. So remember, confidence. We've talked about C, O, now we're on N. N is about don't wait. Don't wait for another person to do something. Don't wait for a later date. Do something now. So for example, I encourage when you get off this call, when you get off of this Instagram Live, do something today that will help build your confidence, that also will help you as it relates to making a difference in this world. Don't fear. Hey, Eric, thank you for joining. Good to see you. Our next letter is F. For those of you that know me, the cornerstone of almost everything I do centers around forgiveness. My first book was about my life that dealt with forgiveness with my parents. My second book was all about how forgiveness can change your life forever. So I'm all about forgiveness. And the thing that I've learned is oftentimes the hardest person for us to forgive is ourselves. So as you're building confidence, one of the things you're going to need to do is to learn to let some things go. Now, a point that I'd like to make is that when we're dealing with forgiveness and forgiveness with someone else in our life or someone else in the world, let's say like the police officers right now dealing with this whole shooting with the gentleman, not shooting, but the murder of the gentleman in Minneapolis, that doesn't mean that they're not held accountable. We can forgive people, but they still need to be held accountable. And even the people in your life, if somebody's wronged you, if somebody's done something that's made it hard for you to even believe in yourself, which is confidence, then, it doesn't mean that they're just left scot-free. They are held accountable for their actions. But more importantly, we have to be held accountable as it relates to how we move forward and how we act. We can't let things become an excuse of why we don't better our lives. The next letter is I, and that's for intentional. Things don't happen by accident. If we want to see improvement in anything, whether it's our personal lives or whether it's about what's happening in the society, then we have to be intentional about doing something. We have to act. Sometimes we see people and we look at them and we say, oh, they're so lucky. They always get things to happen for them. No, I'm not saying you can never have a bit of luck in your life, but usually people who are lucky, it's when they are prepared when opportunity knocks for them. So the question becomes, are you prepared? Are you doing what needs to be done for your goals, for yourself, to make society a better place for everyone? Are you doing your part? You've got to do your part as well. So I'm saying that we have to make sure that we are intentional about everything that we do. The next letter is D. For D, I believe in still dream big. Dream big. Even in the midst of COVID-19, even in the midst of continuous deaths and murders, dream big. Dream that society can be a better place. Dream big that you can play a role in that and that you can make a difference in helping things to become better. Dream big that whatever you ever thought that you could do, it's still not too late. Dream big, because dreaming big is the beginning for your goals. It's the beginning for you to be able to visualize and think about and see the things that you hope for. As I continue to get older, I still have big dreams, and now my dreams are actually generational because I want wonderful things to happen for my children, but also now my grandchildren. I want this world to be a better place for my grandchildren. I want for there to be more brotherly love, more harmony, more concern for humanity and for compassion and caring for others. So don't ever stop dreaming. The next one is E. Okay, this is a big one. This is for energy. We all need energy. We need the strength to do all the things that are still before us to do. If you want to have confidence, if you want to have big dreams, if you want to do all the things and have the courage to accomplish them, you got to have the energy to do it, which means that you've got to get your rest. I've always struggled with sleep. People who know me know that sleep is just something that I really value. As a matter of fact, people who are close to me know if I fall asleep, they're like, don't bother her, leave her alone. This may be the only nap she has for a while. So learn how to get your rest. Learn how to eat the right foods. Learn how to move that body of yours. Get out there and walk. Get out there and stretch. Do some of the things that will help your body, because as we get older, we have more and more aches. It may look like, oh my goodness, for you to be going on 59 years old, you look fine. No, I get up in the morning and I'm like, thank you, Jesus, for another opportunity to face this day and give me the strength. Give me the energy to do the things that you would have for me to do this day. So remember, you got to take care of your temple. You got to take care of your body. You got to make sure, and that's actually mind, body, and soul. So what are you doing to feed your mind? I was reading something the other day that was talking about, it was in the it's called Medium. It's like a LinkedIn for writers. It's medium.com. And I was reading something there that talked about what do the 1% of the most successful people in the world do on a continuous basis. And they talked about reading. Hi, Charmaine, glad to have you. They talked about the importance of reading. And when you read, you stimulate your mind. You also are depositing nuggets in your mind that you may not use till much later. But if you're not reading, you're not going to get that. So remember that when you're doing and you're taking care of your mind, body, and soul, it's about moving, but it's also about your mind. And then are you taking care of your soul, your spirit, the faith side of what you believe, your core, your center? And if you're not doing any of that, you're not going to build the confidence that you need to do the things in this life. And then now, the next thing we're going to go to is N, the letter N. And I'm using that as for negativity. Quit the negative talk. Be about something. Hey, Natalie, good to see you. Thanks for joining all the way from DC. So remember, let the negative self-talk go. Let the negative words from your mouth go, because it does no good when you're trying to talk about yourself negatively or if you're trying to talk about someone else. You don't have to put other people down in order to build your own self up. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. No problem. It's okay that you're late. You're still here. And the important thing is that you got to have positive thoughts. You got to have positive energy. You got to put positive things out there. Now, again, like I've shared a little bit earlier, it doesn't mean that we don't hold people accountable. It doesn't mean we don't deal with things that may be negative in this world or in our life, but we don't have to speak it. We don't have to put it forth out there in terms of negativity. We can turn that tide, and it's up to us. Because oftentimes, when you walk into a room, let me ask a question. Do you know people that when you walk into the room, you look and you go, oh my gosh, so-and-so's there. Oh, wow, I can't wait to see her, or I can't wait to talk to them. Why? Because they lift you up. They're positive. Or do you ever know people that when you see them, you kind of frown and you kind of go, oh gosh, do I have to go say hi to her? No, you want to be one of those people that when you walk into a room, people are so happy to see you, that you've made a difference in their life, or that you make them feel like different things are possible. So that comes from being positive. The next letter is C. Commit. You got to commit to yourself what you're going to do, what you say you're going to do, and what you believe you want to do. If you can't even commit to yourself, how can you commit to someone else? It's so important. Hey, Terrence, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And you got to be a person of your word. You got to commit. And if you fall, it's okay. We all fall short, but you got to learn how to get back up and continue trying. So don't let go of that commitment in your life to yourself and to others. That will help you see results and to be able to envision the goals that you have. The thing that I've learned too is that when I commit to something and I follow through, that even helps me with my confidence because I have a result. I have something that I can look back on and say, okay, I see that this is possible. And then finally, E. E is for enjoy. Once you've done all these other things, you can sit back now and enjoy the fruits of your labor and know that, hey, I've done a good job. So let's recap real quick. I'm just going to give the first word for each letter. Our first letter was C. Remember, we're spelling out confidence. The first letter is C. It's for courage. Our second letter is O, and that's for being optimistic. Look at the glass as half full, not half empty. Our third letter, N, is for now. Do it now. F is for forgive. I is for being intentional. D is for dream big. E is for energy. Remember, you're going to need that energy in order to build that confidence and to do the things that you say you're going to do. N is for negative talk. Let it go. Let go of all negativity in your life. C is for commit. And then E is for enjoy. Enjoy the labors of the fruits of your labor for all the things that you're pouring into, not just yourself, hopefully, but into society, to your family, and into the world. I'm going to leave you with just a couple of things. The first thing is a quote that I read by Lucille Ball. Whenever I think of Lucille Ball, I actually smile because she was hilarious. And sometimes she had a dark side to her in her real life, but she was able to still bring joy to so many people. She said, "Love yourself first, and everything else falls in line. You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world." I have to say I would agree with her. And to love ourselves means we can't compare ourselves with somebody else is doing. We can't compare to ourselves to what we see in the media, whether it's social media or whether it's a magazine or television. You got to focus on who God made you to be and understand that all of us have a purpose in our life. So our takeaways today that I want to give you in terms of your calls to action is to think about these letters that I gave you. What can you do in your own life to improve not only for yourself, your family, but also society? What can you do this week to build your confidence in order to know that you matter and that you have a purpose? The way I always close each week is, remember, healing without hate. It's a choice. It's a lifestyle. Pass it on. I'm Wendy. If you want to learn more, please visit wendygladney.com or seasonofgreatness.com. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. I'll post this live, and I thank you so much for taking out time to be with me today. And as we close, let's also remember George Floyd's family today and do what you can to make a difference. God bless. Bye-bye.